Hello guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing the exhaust manifold gasket. First thing you want to do is disconnect the battery, as always. The next thing you want to do is take the air box out the way. So it's held in by a bunch of connectors. Disconnect the mass airflow sensor. Please don't look at that. Don't worry about that, it's okay. So your setup will be different from mine, but it's just a matter of just removing these out the way. So just be careful not to break anything, because things get really expensive even for a 2002. There we go. So you could just really just get that out the way like that. And next is just the air box. So next you want to take this off. Then there's another connector thing down there, so you can really use what is it? I'm gonna use this one to see what size it is. Let's see. Ooh. Perfect. I believe that the air box should just come out like so. Get that out the way. That's the air box. So this would usually be bolted down, then you just remove the 10s. Alright, so that comes off like that. There's a lot of oil in it, so I think my turbo seals are gone. I'm gonna need a new turbo soon, so that's gonna be another video I'm gonna be making soon. So just go ahead and disconnect that there, and I'm also gonna disconnect it here. Now I have it held on by a 10 there. I'm gonna disconnect it here also. Okay. That's why I grounded my coils too. There. Alright, so once you get all that out the way, we can go ahead and loosen this oil line so I can have a little bit of flex. I think this is a T. Let's see what it is. Okay, so that's a T6. Let's go ahead and use the Ugga Dugga board to get this off. Nope. Oh, that's not coming off. So So let's go ahead and use the big boy and try to see if we can get that off. Alright. So we can leave that on there for now. So the line just has a little bit of flex so we can get all these bolts out the way. So let's see what size these bolts are first. Actually, first we're gonna remove these turbo bolts. These are 17s here. Really, let me loosen these first because I'm gonna go ahead and change this gasket too. So yeah, then I'm gonna get those another time pretty much. But yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Everything's a 17, so it shouldn't be too hard to take off. Yeah. There we go. Okay. So these are loose.
How about on the tree? No, climb up to the tree. No, I mean the right in front of it? Yeah.
So it looks like these can come up by hand. So I'm just gonna grab a wrench here. Pick it up. So, second one. There, last one. Alright. Got the last one off. Now the turbo's free to move. Let's see. Okay. This gasket is trashed, broken. Alright, that is out. Long bolt. And make sure to grab these washers because they're needed. I'm actually missing one. So yeah, turbo is dangling now, so you should be able to get those bolts out the way. So let's go ahead and see the, what is it? Looks like, no, it wasn't seeping past. But yeah, that's the old gasket. We're gonna be replacing that one too. Yeah. At this stage, you can go ahead and check the turbo for any play or anything like that. But no, the wheel seems solid to me. Alright, so next thing we want to do is start taking off these exhaust manifold bolts. Yep, they're exactly 12s. So let's go ahead and break these loose if we can. So be careful, because some of these bolts are rusted through, so you want to put some kind of plaster on it so you don't snap it. It looks like some of them are loose and some aren't. Yep, what did I say? Some of them are loose. It looks like. Yeah, the fronts are loose for some reason. I'm not sure why. So. Yeah. Yeah, that one's very, very loose. And I am not sure as to why that is. Must have been a user error the last time I replaced that gasket. I'm not sure. I'm really not entirely sure when's the last time I did it, so. Alright, so there should be a few down here that you should be able to feel. Once I take it off, I'll be able to show you exactly where they are. Okay, this one here too. I think I got that one right. Yeah, I did. Yeah, most of these are pretty loose for the most part. So, yeah, I think I got them all. There's one, two. I think I got this one too. But yeah. It's just the fact of the matter of zipping them all out. Be careful because they have, what is it? Washers too. So. Yeah, so it comes out as two pieces like that. Make sure you save those washers with those bolts. This one's pretty easy to take off because it's already coated in oil and already coming off on its own anyways. Oh, well, actually lied. I have to get that off. You know, most of these jobs, they don't have to be our jobs unless you make them, because they're practically, you know, what is it, easy to do. As long as you know what you're doing. Oh. And as long as you keep dropping the bolts, it just makes it much more easier to get to them. And this is our last one here. It's funny because I actually went on a 2.5 hour drive yesterday, and I'm over here still wondering why my car is smoking. Come to find out, the front of it, there's exhaust gases leaking out of it. They're bolted there. Now we just need to fish out all the washers. So to be honest, I'm not gonna lie to you, I went ahead and just pulled the exhaust manifold gasket out, as you can see. So this whole gasket here, it's all in pieces pretty much. So what you want to do is just clean around the area. Well, you already know how it goes. Then yeah, just prepare to put everything back, and just need to make sure I know where this wetness is coming from. Alright, so this underneath gasket, and then this one somewhere, so that doesn't fall away. Oops. Alright, so I can really move that out the way. I didn't throw this gasket on there. Just to have it on for now. I mean, if you would like to start bolting it up, this one here, you can do that, but I'm just gonna wait to put the exhaust manifold back on, which I'm about to do now. Where's that gasket at? So okay, so this goes in like that. All right, cool. Transfer it over. All right, let's get there. Okay, so now after you've cleaned this, all this right here, make sure it's all good to go. Then get this and slap it on. My, it's mighty windy today. So, and that's that. And go ahead and see, I have the bolts laid out right here. Make sure that you put the washer on first before you put the bolt. That's the only way it's gonna go on. Just take that washer in there, slide it on. Yeah, just start it by hand if you can. I mean, they grab the threads pretty easy, so it's not anything you have to too much worry about. So what you want to do now, go ahead and grab your tool and we'll work them all down. So yeah, and just go around the whole thing. For the exhaust manifold, there's no specific torque sequence, but you can start, you know, from the outside in or inside out if you will like. Just torque it to how you do believe that, you know, it will seat, but I'm gonna start from, you know, basically crisscross pattern. And also for the, what is it, manifold to turbo, they said about 16 foot-pounds, so as tight as possible. I didn't have an issue with these bolts, so it's just those two there that were loose. So I've already put the gasket on for the turbo to the cat, and yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and begin that process of tightening these down to 21 foot-pounds right now. Let's see. All right, so it's about 21 foot-pounds. And go ahead and repeat the process for all of them. Well, it looks like someone here decided not to be a part of the family anymore. So, but I'm gonna end up getting a new head anyways. But I'm just gonna continue with showing you how to. I've already torqued down the rest of them. So it's just this one that's sheared off. I didn't even get to tighten it yet. I think it broke when I loosened it. So that bolt's stuck in there. Whenever I replace the turbo or whatever, I'm gonna go in there and get that off. So all right, so the next thing I am gonna do, I mean, you don't have to do this, but the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and secure these top two bolts here for the turbo. All right, so you don't want to tighten it all the way, just make sure it's secure pretty much. Then, you know, do the same thing for this side. And then get this gasket here. That's fine. Yep. So it goes like that. So it's like this, enters like that. Yeah. So then you want to work these bolts. Do not forget the washers. So like I said, I am missing the washer for this one, but I will get that eventually. So we'll go ahead and actually start with this outside bolt just to bring it up. There we go. So just go ahead and we'll start working it in by hand. So once you get that one, go ahead and take that inside one and do the same thing for that one too. Then just go ahead and just bring it up. I'll go ahead and put this one here too. Yeah. So just to have that there, then I'm going to use these two to set the turbo up pretty much. Go ahead and do that now with this 17 actually. This last one, you're just going to have to get it as tight as possible. Because that would be the best way to do it. So I do believe these are just about 16 foot-pounds too, if you are able to get a torque wrench in there. These are also 17s, so and make sure, don't forget the bottom one, the one that goes on there. So go ahead and put that one there too. Yeah, that one would be a little bit harder to get, but you just have to try to do your best what you can do. These cars are not so easy to work on, being that the engines are so packed in the front. Yeah, so just make sure you have it even out on both sides pretty much. So this one's just gonna, a multi-point is gonna be the easiest way, because you could just rotate it like one turn and you'll be able to, you know, get it. So just make sure everything here is tight and go back over it, make sure everything's tight. I cannot stress that. Continue ratcheting it on. I'm gonna try to see if I can get it on all the way. All right, so it's going on by hand, but just to tighten it down, gotta slide it on there and just, you know, pretty much work it down. I got this from AutoZone years ago. I'm not sure if they still sell it, but I'm pretty sure you can find it on Amazon. So it just makes things so much easier. So the next thing I'm going to do is put the air box back in. Well, actually before that, we need to go and secure this bad boy right here with our T6 that we left on the bolt. So just make sure it's tight. I'm not gonna lie to you, this is bothering me. That bolt not being there it's bothersome, but I believe I should be fine. I mean, if I'm having any boost issues or anything like that, because I do want to buy a new head anyways, because I do believe this one might be bad, or my turbo, or next time I do my head gasket, once I do my timing, which will be maybe in the next 2 months, should be able to take that bolt out. But I do believe for now it should be fine. If you snap yours just like mine, go ahead and take it to a shop. But no one's open on Sundays today, so I'm just gonna have to yeah. All right, so putting everything back, just make sure things are out the way. Next thing we're gonna want to do is put this air box in, so it goes in this way. So just slide it in. You really have to move all this stuff out of here. There we go. So once it sits in, it should make things easier. All right. So make sure it goes into those holes that are right there, and it sits in just like that. Bada boom. Then get this little hose in here. Go ahead and snake that back on there. Make sure you have it there. And we have that, I think it was whatever that connection was. All right, yeah, that's on there. All right, so just make sure that's sitting. Go ahead and, pretty sure this turbo is bad because there's oil in here. So I think I'm gonna go KO4. That's a possibility. All right, slide that back in there because I'm gonna replace this whole thing. Everything looks like it's being held together by bubblegum and tape. All right, so go ahead and put this one back here. Slide this back on here. So as I said in the beginning, I made everything pretty much a quick disconnect. Please don't do that. Do not do that. Don't follow in my ways because they're not the right ones. So it's not too bad. So with these, you don't want to make sure, you don't want them to be overly tight. So just make sure they're tight enough. In the future, I'm still deciding whether I want to put a 2.7T in here. So I can delete all this SIA nonsense. Yeah, because it's just too much dealing with these vacuum lines and vacuum hoses. So I'm gonna plug that back in. All right, so next thing you want to do is install the last two pipes, which are these. You want to start with this bottom one first. Go ahead and there you go. Put this on there. So it rotates like that. And this one slots in like this. Like so. There you go. So go ahead and secure. This is where I have mine grounded to for these here. And locked it down in there. Grab the 8 and work these down. And this one goes like this. Pretty much it's all oily, so let's clean that up. Yeah, it's the PCV system. Move that out the way, and this goes in here like this. There we go. Usually I've seen newer, like the other Audis with this here. So I don't know what's so different with mine being over here. I'm not too sure what's going on. But yeah, if yours is different, I mean, it's practically the same thing, just bolted up all the same. Right, lock that back in place and make sure all your connections are back on. I'm actually gonna, one of these days, take this off and put a clamp on it, because I'm pretty sure that's gonna be worn out. But yeah, just make sure all your connections are back on. And I'm actually gonna start the car and make sure it starts. So put the negative back on. And this is a H7 battery, by the way. If you're not sure what battery to get a H7. Last time I had a H6 and it was slow cranking, but I have a H7 on here. So everything looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and start the car. Always make sure your car isn't in gear. Can you see that? I'm at 239K. It's a lot of miles for this car. Ooh, sounds good. But I do appreciate you guys for watching. And that's pretty much how to change your exhaust manifold gasket and your turbo to your cat gasket. Yeah, and thank you for watching. Have a good one.